go ahead and call tonight's meeting to order. If everybody would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the agenda for the evening. Anybody have any comments, questions, changes? I do see that we will be removing line item 7 from the agenda tonight. The person will not be in attendance, so that'll be the only change. Any other changes? Hearing none.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Have a motion to approve by Dan.
Second.
Second by Troy. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. All right. Agenda is approved. On to tonight's consent agenda. Anybody, any comments, questions? All right, hearing none, I'll go ahead and move to approve the consent agenda.
I second that motion.
Right, we got a second by Jan. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. All right. And we'll go ahead on to public hearing. I will go ahead and suspend the regular council meeting and open the public hearing. All right, so we have a few things for the public hearing tonight. So the City Council is considering amending the City Code, Title 9, Section 92.35 and 92.36. This is be a part of the open burning recreation and 5+ acre permits and regulations. Under Title 9, Section 92.70, an ordinance regulating weeds, grass, snow on sidewalks. And we got Title 15, Section 150.132 of the City Code, 150.132B2E. It regulates tarp polyvinyl structures and being prohibited. Accessory structures constructed primarily of canvas, plastic, or other similar non-permanent building materials will be prohibited. And then Title 15, Section 153 of the City Code, under 153.047C7, GFCI outlets must meet state electrical code. All right, and I will go ahead and ask if there is any comments or questions from anybody in attendance tonight. Hearing none, is there any comments or questions in writing?
There's none.
Okay, and I will go ahead and ask for comments. Going once. Asking for comments or questions. Going twice. Asking for comments or questions a third time. All right, hearing none, I will go ahead and close the public hearing. And move. Now do we vote on it now or right now? Okay, all right. And then we'll go ahead and reestablish our regular council meeting and put on for motions for ordinance 2020-002, 2020-003, 2020-004, and 2020-005.
I second that motion, or do we have to discuss?
You can go ahead and make a motion if you want.
Okay.
All right, I got Jan with the motion.
Second.
Troy with the second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Motions carry. On to public forum. Anybody from the gallery have anything to contribute? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move on to Eden Valley Fire Relief Association.
Good evening. Scott Thielen with the Fire Relief Association of Eden Valley here. Just came in today to go through the schedules SC20 that we're required to bring to you guys to go through our investments and how our plan's going. In front of you should have a copy of it there. The first page shows shows basically the number of members, entry dates, years of service, and then the accrued liability that they've got from being vested in our Relief Association. You go to the second page, we do have 2 members that are deferred, meaning that they have left the department, but they were partially vested. So when they turn 50, we will pay out what they are owed. So we've got, I believe, probably right around 7 to 8 years left where they'll be on our liability yet. The next one is just unpaid installments, which we have none. You go into the next one, it goes into financial projections going off of some of the 19 numbers, 20 and 21. Basically, the numbers there, it just shows our liabilities. You know, basically what we just went through, the number, the deferred, and then the unpaid comes to a grand total. And then there's a projection of the assets going through this year. So they just go off what we had at the end of last year and go through with our fire state aid that we get, supplemental aid, municipal contribution, the cities, what they give to us every year, interest, depreciation or depreciation, so depreciation there. Then projected out income, some expenses we have. A lot of that's linked to the audit we have to do, and then these forms that we have to do throughout the year. So that gives us a grand total there, and then they do a projection of a surplus or deficit come the end of this year. And right now they're showing us a surplus of right around $49,726. That comes out to showing that we're about 108% funded. So it's saying that we're overfunded for our benefit level and stuff right now. You go into the next one. This one here shows basically a lot of the same numbers. The cost, let's go down here, and expenses again. They have a system they use to figure out if the city has to do an additional contribution to what they normally give, and there is no contribution, being we are overfunded right now. So there's no additional contribution from the city this year. The next one they do a max benefit worksheet, which tells it by the way the state has a formula that they can figure out the max that off of what you have in your investments and liabilities and all that stuff of what you could be at in theory. The max they're saying we could be at is $2,600. That's, you know, beyond where we would be, but it's just a formula they use to figure out the max benefit. So, and then the last page, really all that is there's 6 points to it, and that's just a kind of a review of what was in here. There's a 1550 is our benefit level right now. It's showing surplus of 49,726. That's where you get that 108% funded. There's no additional contribution. The max benefit we talked about. And the next one just says the date, and that we cannot establish a level that exceeds that max benefit. That's a state statute. And then that we went through this with the Relief Association and Cindy and the mayor. We have to have this in before the 1st of August, so we take care of that. So then we bring it to you guys. So are there any questions on the schedule form that we do have here?
I don't have any.
Okay.
Look like it.
Any questions on, I guess, for me, or that on, you know, nothing on that, or, you know, if you don't understand something about what the Relief Association is or anything like that, if there's anything that we need to bring out.
we had the training, you know.
Yep,
And we learned a lot, and
yeah, last fall we had our investment guy on, he went,
right.
I was not there, but everybody that was there said it's
Yeah.
opened up a lot of how this all works and the type of system it is, of how it's funded and how how they go through to figure out how much with the liabilities and the assets and all that stuff. So, on that note, I guess right now we're at a 1550 for our benefit level. Our last one we did was 2018 that we became effective January 1 of 2019. So we were looking at it, we went through it being over 108% funded. And you got to look at this. Last year, or in the last 2 years here, so we paid out 3 very large retirements. And how that works is you would think the fund would be dwindled down, but how it works is when you take those numbers of years off compared to what you paid out, you're taking that liability out of it, and then the lower guys coming in aren't vested in the service yet. They have to be on 10 years to get vested on retirement. So you've got a good chunk of our guys are coming up that are either not vested yet or partially vested. So there's a lot of money there, that's growing right now. So our liabilities drop a lot. But with that, we were at the meeting, we went through it, we were thinking that we could go for $100 increase and bring it up to $1,650. So I'll bring that up to you.
All right. Anybody have any questions on raising the benefit? Like you were just touching on last fall when we sat down with your guys' financial advisor, that answered a lot of the questions I know we all had about how the fund operates and how you determine that max benefit and even how the fund is managed, and the rules and the guidelines that it has to be, certain money can go here, certain money can go there, and so on. So it's probably why you're probably not getting a whole lot of questions this time. Yeah. So, Troy? Any questions?
No, otherwise I would have asked.
All right.
No, because last time, now you guys didn't get a raise it was quite some time before that.
It was a lot of years.
And then we bumped it.
Yeah, and then we decided to try to go at smaller increments, more, instead of going 10 years or 15 years, we do a little bit in a yearly or couple of year increments to bring it up slowly, but still bring it up in the same type of percentages.
And last year we decided not to ask for one.
With last year, yeah, we had with those bigger payouts and stuff, we wanted to make sure that the fund, the fund was a little lower, it was still very healthy, but with them payouts, we wanted to make sure that we were still looking good coming into this year, so. And then it turned out, it looks really good, so.
Right now, you said you're 108% funded.
Yep.
At 1550.
Yep.
If you go to, say, 1650 you're asking for, what is the funding rate at that time?
They ran a 3-year, they is our auditing company, the one that does this paperwork for us. They ran a 3-year thing, punched it in. They did it a little differently than they had before. A lot of times they would take this here, right here, push 1650 or whatever we wanted into it, and then it would just start putting the numbers in. They actually figured it out with going with our three top payouts actually getting paid out also, and then they still came out with over 100% funded, 108% up to. Actually, it was actually a very large number up to 400% funded. But that's saying that they're going with 3 payouts and better than average or or average, income from the stocks and stuff, but the bottom end of theirs, they said it would still be at 1,650 or even a 1,700 was still over the 100% funded. And but that too was figuring in taking out the 3 highest retirements next year, and then the 3 highest again. So basically what they were doing was that little thing where they take the liabilities out, you know, and then your assets change a little bit, so.
Okay. Jan, any questions? No? All right. I don't, you did a good job explaining it, so, go ahead and, anybody want to make the motion?
I'll make a motion to, give them another $100
All right.
to 16, up to 1650.
Yep, I have a mo-
I'll second that.
All right, wow, then, moving too fast for me here. I got a motion by Troy, second by Dan. Any last discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right.
And that, I assume, would be as of January 1 again?
Yeah.
Correct.
And so today it's already been approved. Now we're just saying as of January 1.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking at it with our bylaws. We have to amend that now. So just so we make sure we word that right, that it was for January 1 then,
Yep.
of 21. Okay. Thank you very
I
much.
think even in these trying times when I know you guys work with some good investors,
Yep.
investor and advisors, I should say,
Yep.
that, are helping us in growth.
Yeah, and they have to be, there's statutes and laws there too in the state that you have to be in so much conservative and so much that you can't take everything and put it up into high risk or anything, it's kind of to protect the funds too, so. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so moving on to boards and commission reports. Planning Commission.
Hello. So Doug Rulin came in and applied for a permit for 377 White Street, and turns out that the address was incorrect on the county's website. So that 377 is actually their neighbor's property. So we basically just need approval to give the address to Doug Rulin's property at 355. And you should have a map in front of you guys, and it kind of shows other houses around the area.
The parcel, the 240015000, that used to be all one parcel with the neighboring, and it was split into 2 parcels, one an empty lot, one with a house. Typically, the county leaves the address with the house, and an empty lot wouldn't have an address.
Okay.
This one, the address went with the empty lot, and the people living in the house use that address, but legally, they don't really have one. So we just need to assign that back to being the 377. The empty lot will be given the new address that Darren has verified that fits within our plan, the 355, and it's a simple thing with Meeker County, so.
Yeah, so basically there's 2 things on here. Assign 377 to the house and then 355 to the empty lot. Okay. All right. Any questions? I'll go ahead and make a motion to assign 377 White Street to the house and then 355 White Street to the empty lot.
Second.
Troy with a second. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion carries.
The second item is, you guys have the solar garden ordinance in front of you guys. So we're gonna bring that to a public hearing here, and we just wanted you guys to be able to look through it and see if you guys have any additions or changes that you guys feel would fit in there. Other than that, we just need to bring it to public hearing and get it approved so we can move forward with that project.
All right. The one thing I appreciate that you guys did on this is you guys also included wind generation too. So I didn't even think about that at the time.
Yep. So I got to give credit to Cindy on that one. She did a lot of research for us and the commission. So had a couple different, basically looked at a few towns and looked at their ordinances and found one that worked the best and kind of made that one work for us.
Okay. Now, is this public hearing got to be at a commission here? Is that a commission hearing or is that a council? Okay. All right. Okay. So then we would want to put that at our next council meeting, right? So our next council meeting's on September 2nd. Everybody okay with that? All right. We need a motion on that one? Okay. All right. And I will go ahead and make a motion to put on for a public hearing for our September 2nd regular council meeting for the solar and wind electric generation facilities regulation ordinance.
Second that motion. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah. All right. I think Troy beat you. So Troy with a second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries.
Changes or alterations I would like to see in the ordinance. That's all I have.
All right. All right. Anybody got anything for Darren? No? Okay.
The ordinance has been reviewed by the city.
Okay. I assumed that, but yeah, thanks for bringing it up. All right, so then on to EDA. So a couple of things on the EDA. We recently had our last meeting with two new members, Sean Schlangen and I'm going to forget her last name, Jody Bauer. Both Sean Schlangen, business owner here for Schlangen Cabinets, and then Judy Bauer, who works over at the bank. So. Excited to have them a part of the Economic Development Board, and they're already providing some wonderful input on how we can kickstart some economic development here in town. Then for the other thing, so on the county side, did want to take just a couple of seconds to announce that back earlier was it around the March April timeframe. The federal government passed the CARES Act. There was some money in there that was transferred over to the cities, where the cities were then in turn to distribute that money to local municipalities and county governments. That money has been released by the state of Minnesota, and the county, Meeker County, has decided to use a portion of the money that they're getting for what they call CARES Relief Act grants. So these would be grants that businesses can apply for. They would be used mainly for COVID-related expenses and for relief of economic stress. And my printout here is not working now. There we go. Yeah, so this will qualify for businesses up to 50 full-time employees. Then it also this also applies since Meeker County is only half of the city. The county has agreed to include the entire city as part of their program that they're setting up here. So any business in Eden Valley can apply for, will be able to apply for this funding. There's a couple of requirements that is that you need to demonstrate economic loss due to the pandemic, and being that you were shut down fully or you were partially shut down or your business was hampered. Other than that, there's up to right now they've got it up to that each business could get up to $50,000. That is the max amount that you get. There is a loan process, and that'll be reviewed by the Meeker County EDA board to determine the level of funding per business. The applications will be available soon. They're targeting, I think, sometime early September. So give around that time frame that those be available soon. So any businesses in Eden Valley, I think we will be doing at the EDA county level, reaching out to businesses and asking to apply. So as a member of that board, when that becomes available, I'd like to stress, even if you don't think that you're going to need any of that funding, just apply for it. And that way see if you can get some funding out of that program. So that was all I had for that.
Part of that CARES deal, wasn't there some limitations on that if you got a grant, a different style grant, right, already?
Yeah.
You can't get that funding?
If you did get, it could affect what you could get. There's some things in the, if you took part in the Paycheck Protection Program, or federal injury disaster loan, I do believe that you probably won't be qualified for that. But if you took anything from from Minnesota or even Meeker County, there was a couple of programs that the EDA did, along with in coordination with a couple of local businesses in the area. Those if you partook in those programs, you could still partake in this one. Anything else? All right, then we'll move on to tonight, on to paying of the bills.
You can see that tonight's bill's high. We have a total of $499,818, and that's because August is our August 1st is our big bond payments that are due. So in July we always have a big expense to pay PFA.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on tonight's bills? Okay. Anyone want to do the honors?
That's not in this approval.
Okay.
Okay. I make a motion to pay the bills.
All right, I have a motion by Dan to pay the bills. Looking at you, Jan.
Second.
You made the mistake and you told me that you don't say much during these meetings, so. All right, I got a second by Jan. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. All right, on to departments. Cindy.
I have one I need an approval for, I've added Nancy McNabb as an emergency judge. It's later in but I have the authority to add an emergency judge. I'm glad because one of the judges called me yesterday and said they won't be here next week. So Nancy's been trained both Meeker, and I had her go through the training in both Meeker and Stearns, just in case.
Okay.
I'll need your approval.
All right. Any questions on that? All right. Then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the emergency judge, Nancy McNabb, for elections. Got a second by Jan. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Anything else, Cindy?
Really, we're working on budgets, so the next workshop will be our public safety budget, so fire relief, police, and then the administrative budget, my budget will be in this one.
All right. Excellent.
That's it. And working on this room, hopefully it'll be painted before then.
All right. All right. Anybody got anything for Cindy? All right. On to Ernie.
We got the monthly report. You can see COVID's slowed us down a little bit, but not a lot. So other than that, yeah, it's been good.
All right.
Other than that, I'm just keeping on trucking.
All right. Anybody got anything for Ernie? All right. Thank you, Ernie. All right. On to Zach.
At that 355 on Way Street, the water and sewer is supposed to be stubbed out there. Water's there. They looked for the sewer and they can't find it, so it must be a little bit farther into the street. My camera doesn't line and it's
it's kind of a quiet month.
How's the grass growing at the park?
It's coming in good. I mowed some of it for the first time today. It's coming in good, but it still needs time to get all the way established.
So you beat me to my question then. I've got a niece and a nephew that would love to see it going, but I keep telling them not until the grass is long enough.
Yeah, should wait a little longer.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, anybody else got anything for Zach? All right. Anything from council? All right, so hearing none, go on to upcoming meetings. So just as a reminder, on August 11th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., that will be the state primary election. This will be the second election of the year. Question for you, Cindy, on this one. What's all on the ballot for this one? Is it just state level offices?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then we have a budget workshop on August 19th at 7 p.m. And then our next council meeting plus public hearing on the solar and wind farm ordinance will be September 2nd, 2020 at 7 p.m. here at City Hall. All right. If there is no objections, I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. We're done.